What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Hello, Mario
Good,
and
good.
Brian.
Hello,
Girl,
hello.
that was when I tell you that was dry as fuck.
You better leave me alone. The
I
hell?
mean,
I'm
dry,
up and present, honey.
dry. How's everybody's week
I've
been?
been running them up today.
What you been doing?
Ooh. I went to the car wash and I hand drive my own car, and I ain't used to that, honey. I need to go back to the detailed car wash.
Sound to me you living a good life. A lawn man, not used to
A
driving
lawn
your own
man.
car. I mean,
Baby,
everybody ain't able.
I was hot. I was like, this is ridiculous. It's hot. I just need to go back to the car wash. I went to the drive-through car wash and I had to drive my own car. I was like, and the little guy was like, "Hey," he was like, "Hey, ma, you need some towels?" I'm like, "I need somebody to dry this mug off."
Right? Somebody to do the work.
No, I don't need no towels. Can you dry this motherfucker? But I said, "Thank you." And then the dude next to me, he was like, "It's hot out here." Duh, it was 92. It's 92 degrees outside. I was like, "Baby." So I did that this morning.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
Brian, how's your week been?
It's been all right. I do not have a lawn man and was out playing lumberjack on Monday, and I'm just now recovering from it. For everybody that's watching, this is now Saturday. Had a chainsaw and everything doing weeds. So if you want to talk about your weeds that were really tall, mine required a chainsaw.
A
Um,
chainsaw?
yes, like an actual chainsaw.
Wait,
ooh,
Um,
what? How did that happen? I mean, not how did that happen, but how does that happen?
uh,
neglect. That's what he's trying to tell you.
No, that's
Yeah.
not what I'm
I,
trying to say. I'm saying, how did they get?
Neglect. This
Brian,
is
don't
what
let.
he's.
I'm not saying that, Brian. I'm simply asking, how
oh,
did
I
that?
am. I am.
How did they? How
It's
did they
been
get
neglect.
that thick? Well, because
Baby.
now I say that because we had some thick ones as I was out there pulling them out. But I'm just saying, a chainsaw, Jesus.
Yeah.
So what you did?
Yeah.
Had an accident?
No, not at all. I was working really hard, and I'm not done. I got maybe a quarter of it done, so that means I get to spend the
Oh,
rest of the summer
y'all
working
got
at it.
weeds. I mean, we have weeds too, but y'all got weeds. Okay, wow.
Right.
Okay,
Well,
well,
The rest of the
you've seen our
summer.
backyard.
Oh
yeah.
Lord. Yeah.
Our backyard was already kind of overgrown anyway, so some of it was not our neglect, but a lot of it was our
Thank
neglect.
you.
So
Tell her. It wasn't just neglect. Tell her.
right.
Neglect. That's why
Plus,
she's trying.
plus, they live in Indiana. It's probably just
Oh,
now warming up enough that they
oh,
can
yeah,
really get
that's
out
true.
here.
You can go out there and get it
Yes.
done. That's true.
Yep.
Exactly. Tell her, Brian. Don't let get her off you like that. She's talking about neglect. Just because she got a lawn man.
Right.
Maybe. Oh no. You know why I have a lineman? Because I got that fine in the mail. Maybe. So I was neglecting my
Oh.
yard too. They said, ma'am, we have a report of overgrown weeds and long grass. I said, ma'am, I said,
I don't know what you're looking crazy for. You knew it was true.
and that same day, I drove down the little driveway and he was out there cutting somebody else's grass. I said, excuse me, do you provide lawn service? He was like, yes. I said, do you have a card? Okay, I will let you know. Can you come and cut this shit on Friday? So he's been doing it now. This is probably his fourth time. He come every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks on Friday, he comes to our neighborhood and he serviced probably about 5 or 6 houses over here.
Oh, okay. Okay,
So
cool.
hmm
Cool. All right, so a couple things before we get started. I want to start
How
by
was your week,
saying,
by the way?
huh?
How
right.
was your week,
Oh,
by the way?
My week, well, first off, let me say Happy Pride Month. It is Pride Month, so Happy Pride Month,
Indeed.
June.
Happy
Pride
Pride.
Month, so we will celebrate all things Pride this month. My
that's
week
cute.
has been it's been good actually. And it's been a long time since I've said I could say I've had a good week. So I've been just still learning my new role and I'm enjoying the ladies that I work with and they've been very accommodating and making sure that I know what all the stuff I need to know and everything like that. So it's been a good week.
That's good.
Excellent.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Also, I don't know if you guys watch Tyler Perry movies. However, he's got a new movie out, Straw. I don't know if you guys heard about it.
Could you
I'm not gonna tell you the movie.
thank you, because I'm gonna watch it today. Because something was going on with my Netflix last night. I was trying to watch it last night,
You got
but I'm
something.
gonna
You
watch it
always
today.
got something going on. I always got something going on with something. It's your lighting. It's your Netflix. It ain't nothing
Right.
ever working right over there. Anyway,
Boy, Dad.
Nothing's wrong with her internet. Nothing's wrong with her internet.
exactly. You'll see her go still in about 5.2 seconds. But anyway,
Let me tell you,
nonetheless, it's a great movie.
YouTube neglections. That's what I'm talking about.
Guy, it is a
Good
great.
bugs.
This is
Okay.
probably one of my. I would say now one of my favorite Tyler Perry movies. Honestly, I was like,
Really?
yeah, definitely. Watching it, I was like, thinking like, oh, because he got a way of at sometime towards the end, it'd be like, why did you have to do that? But this
Yeah, yeah,
one,
yeah.
all the way through,
Was
was
good.
great. But I'm gonna tell you now, you watch it, have your Kleenex because you're gonna cry, and
That's what I've been seeing all in the comments.
yeah, you're gonna cry and you're gonna cry and you're gonna cry some more. But
Okay.
just all the different things that's within it, it's it's a good movie. The
Okay.
downfall for it to me is like I guess the downfall, but a plus is that it's on Netflix. So the plus is on Netflix, so it can reach people,
Mhm.
reach more people. But and you if you watch it, you'll understand what I'm saying. But I wish it was in a theater so that Taraji could get nominated
Could get
for
her money.
like an
Hmm.
Hmm.
Oscar or something. No, not
Yeah.
the money. I think she was paid well for this, honestly.
Oh, was
But
she? Okay.
yeah, they've been going on. Her and Sherry Shepherd both have been going on. Matter of fact, I think she mentioned something like he's upped her salary, so now when she goes to other movie houses or whatever like that, she can now ask for
She can
more
demand
because
more.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Um, but it's her performance is definitely one of those like worthy of an Oscar nomination. Seriously,
Hmm.
seriously,
Mm.
you feel it. Everything that she's going through, you feel it. And even if you never experienced some of the stuff that's taking place, it's just the way that she emotes in the role is a good movie. So I
Hmm.
recommend.
Straws.
I
Yeah,
had seen a couple people talk about being confused by a Tyler Perry movie. Is that the one they're talking about?
what do
Was
you
there
mean?
something that was kind of confusing about it?
Um, I wouldn't say it's confusing. Honestly, it makes sense when you think about it. If that makes sense. So
Is it kind of where you have to get to a certain point for things to like
no, no,
click?
no, no, no. You're following it all the way through. You're
Okay,
following it all the way
okay,
through. But there is a certain part, and I don't want to say, I guess I can say towards the end where I can see somebody may say it's kind of confusing. However,
okay,
if you're following it and you're in it, just playing it, just thinking about all the events that's taking place, it makes sense how it all got to this point. And
got it.
yeah, it's really good. Like I said, it's probably one of his best works to me.
Hmm,
To me,
Okay.
nice.
I'm gonna
uh,
watch it today.
yeah. You watch it, give it a watch, and tell me what you think, because
Okay.
I think it's definitely, like I say, a good, very
Definitely
good
was
movie.
trying to watch it last night, but it didn't come through.
Not Miss Tired, not Miss. I'm tired. I'm so
Well,
tired.
no, boo. That's why. Have you watched? Because it was another. I don't know if you've seen this one, but because I don't know if you like thrillers for real, but it's called Unseen.
I'm
It's
watching it now. No, what do you know about that? I'm watching it now because this is season two. This
that
is
I've
season
never
two.
seen it before. That's why I was like, so that's
Oh
what I
my!
was watching last night. Yeah,
This is because remember y'all used to laugh at me because I was on my African movie.
African. I know. Yes, yes,
I was
yes,
Brian. I was watching. It was like one after another, but they were really good movies, with really good
Hmm.
yes,
storylines. And I came
yes.
across this one, and I just stumbled across this. It was a second season of it, and I was like, man, and I'll tell you,
Yeah, I
I think
started watching that last night. I was like, why haven't I seen this before? But no, it's. I'm like, it grabbed my attention and it never stopped.
you watching season
So
one or season two.
yeah, I'm watching season one.
Okay, because and then you go with season two. It's all going,
Yeah.
man. It's Zenzi, Zenzi. Yeah,
Yes, I know. I was like, because I'm not really a thriller girl, but when I started watching, I was like, oh, this ain't really no thriller, but it is
yeah.
when you start watching it. But
Oh yeah.
no, yeah, that's what I was
It
watching last night.
it definitely grabs your attention, Brian. If you get a moment, take a gander. It'll grab your attention, and it'll keep
Yeah.
you interested the whole thing.
What's
Hmm.
the name one more time?
When I say African movie, they not. It's based in Africa. They not speaking African or nothing like that.
Yeah, they
Well,
speak
occasionally,
English.
periodically, but it's a good movie. I think it's based in
Okay.
like Cape Town or something like that. So it's
Hmm.
really good.
What's the name of it again?
Unseen.
Unseen.
Unseen. Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Nice.
That was good. That's good. All right, guys, you ready to get into it?
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Let's get into our first little story.
A transgender athlete took first place in 2 out of her 3 events in California's state high school track and field championship. A.B. Hernandez's participation sparked a national controversy and triggered a last-minute temporary rule by the California Interscholastic Federation, the body that governs high school sports in the state. They added an extra slot specifically for cisgender girls in events in which a transgender athlete qualifies, as well as giving them an extra medal. This compromise came after President Donald Trump threatened to pull federal funding from California if she was able to compete, but it was not enough for some protesters.
It's ridiculous. We had to fight for our space so that we could compete and have our own thing. This is for women. This is for girls. He is a biological boy.
In an interview, Hernandez's mother responded to the criticism and defended her daughter's ability to compete.
When you see how happy this kid is being herself, the first time I saw her come out dressed as a girl where she didn't have to hide it from me, I saw it in her face. So I was like, this is it. This is what she wants. I'm going to support it.
All right, guys, what do you think about this?
This is a complex one. And I think that everybody has knee-jerk reactions about it that feel right to them, but are only partially true. And I think that's the part that we really need to work on getting past is that knee-jerk reaction. Multiple studies have been done that show that trans athletes who have been on hormone replacement therapy, blockers, things of that nature for a certain amount of time no longer have any sort of physical advantage. But I almost never hear people talking about that. Like, and don't get me wrong, I absolutely acknowledge that if somebody who is just starting that transition who hasn't reached that time period may in fact have some sort of an advantage, and I think that we need to be really honest about being fair of how that is handled. But in those situations where that's not the case, I think we really need to start having a conversation that reflects what does the science actually say, not just what is our knee-jerk reaction to these situations.
Well said. Well said. What say you, Mama Kim?
That was really good, Brian. But I think for the parents, because it's high school, we're not talking about like the US the Olympics where they are a little bit older and stuff like that. I think that's the scary part because now I have a child that's that's girls, and now this young man has transitioned to a girl. It's really hard as a parent because how did they even know that he was transitioning? Did they have to disclose it? Like,
Yeah, I don't think
how
he
did
was
they even
hiding
know?
it. I don't think she was hiding it by no means and saying like I think it was so I mean because that was mean to say that she is just basically a boy wearing a wig, but I think in this case she is actually going through um, the hormone therapy and all of the type of things so that she is complete. So you know what I'm saying, and so that
Yeah.
and so when we're looking at it from that's, I guess that's how I'm looking at it. Is that she is
Yeah.
um, doing the work to feel comfortable in her body. If that makes sense.
And I think I'm being a devil's advocate because I'm a parent. So I think because of me being a parent, that's like if my boy or my girl decided that she wanted to be a guy, right? Would that mean that if she said she wanted to play football, would they let her play football as a transitioning boy? Does that make sense? I don't know. But I don't, for how Brian explained it, the science. That makes sense. But as the human side, it's like, oh, I don't know.
And I think we need to be really careful about how we frame that, in the sense that the narrative of boys pretending to be girls so that they can dominate in sports,
Hmm.
that narrative is not happening. That is not a thing. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
think about how hard high school is. As do you look right? Are you wearing the right clothes? Are you and you
Hmm.
think that somebody's putting on a wig and pretending to be a girl, and
Hmm.
all of the ramifications of doing that when high school is already fucking hard enough?
Right.
That just is not happening. So I get, and I get the protective aspect of that, but
Hmm.
follow the science. And it's tricky, especially like you said, we're not talking about the Olympics, so we're not talking
Yeah.
about, having the mechanism to do hormone testing and blood
Right.
tests and things of that nature to confirm where they are in their transition. But uh, there's probably an amount of grace that we need to be able to give to, especially to a young person going through something as difficult as I would have to imagine transitioning is, that
Hmm.
they're probably being mostly straightforward, because their goal is to be who they actually are in life, not to dominate in sports, because like I
Hmm.
said, that narrative just is not happening.
And I agree with you, Brian. I think that when you look at it from the perspective of that, she is. I guess when you say Mama Kim, like I guess for me, it's the acceptance of it from, and I think we have to be able to accept that she felt like she was born in the wrong body. So when I think trigger words for me would be when to say decide. You know what I'm saying? They decide to do this. Because then I'm not a trans person. However, being a gay male, then you hear things like that as well. Like you decided, like it's a
You
choice.
decided.
And
Yeah.
it's hard to convey to people that it's not a choice. This is who you are. This is,
Hmm.
Right.
you know what I'm saying? And so, but I understand that if you're not in that situation, you may not be able to fully understand it
And I think
completely.
that's the side that I'm on because for me, I'm on both of you guys' side when that, but when the other side of being that parent of the cisgender child to a transgender child, where do you sit? You can be compassionate, but are you compassionate for that trans child or are you compassionate for your own child?
Well, I think the state did a great job of kind of uh, what's the word, bridging the gap, so to speak. You know, so not ostracizing one. And great could be relative, but in the sense of not ostracizing one, but
Hmm.
also creating a space for everybody. So the young lady can still can compete as normal and
Hmm.
do all of the things and get her awards and things of that nature. But that's not also to exclude, considering it's such a touchy subject. Not
Absolutely.
exclude the cisgender young lady that
Hmm.
is just as good.
Hmm.
So I think that was their kind of workaround. It probably could probably, eventually or at some point be a little more polished or whatever like that. But I think in the quick thinking, considering they were about to lose funding, so if it's quick to say,
Right.
listen, this is what we're going to do to
Hmm.
rectify the
Right.
situation immediately. I thought that was a quick, good workaround as to to kind of appease the situation.
And I, I,
Yeah, I
I
don't. I don't. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brian.
I was just going to say, I agree with that only in the sense of as an emergency compromise, but I don't need to remind either one of you about the dangers of the myth of separate but equal.
Exactly, because that's what
Like,
it's going. That's what it's going to.
right. So having dual medals, one for the trans athlete, one for a cis athlete, and things of that nature. Like, you know, I get it. I do understand. As an emergency measure in the current climate right now,
Yeah.
I do understand why they do that. I don't know that it's the right solution to completely create a new class for them, because then we run into the situation of, you know, yeah, you're equal, but you're not really a part of it. So that's a slippery slope, and we have to be really careful of that.
And then I agree, and I guess I was looking from a
Yeah.
standpoint of it being a quick fix immediately, because I think their
Yeah.
funding was going to be
Yeah.
pulled immediately. So
Yep.
that
Right.
was their quick fix. It does need to be refined in the process, going forward and things of that nature. But initially, like hey, we need to do something really quickly,
Yep.
to
Agreed.
appease the situation. So I guess that's how I was looking at it as well.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying, Mama Kim. I just I guess I just, like I said, that decide is kind of a trigger type of situation, because I don't think there's never a decision made to 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 do any of these things, to be gay, to be trans. I think that's
Mhm.
all intrinsically who everyone is. Though
Right.
some may not believe that, but I believe that it's intrinsically who we are.
Mhm.
And that's the experience that we've lived. I mean, granted, I can't imagine what it's like to be a trans person, but I can tell you exactly what it's like to be a gay man that has heard my entire life that I chose this life, when I can
Mhm.
guarantee you that was never the case. This is who I have always been for as long as I can remember.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So we'll see how it all pans out. And what really, I guess, this whole trans people and being in sports and stuff like that has taken a mind of its own. And I think in my mind, there's bigger issues out there, um, and I don't find it to be as important. But then again, I'm not in sports, nor do I have a child playing sports. You know what I'm saying? Um, But to me, it's not as big of that big of an issue. But then again, and I'm also not a trans person, so
Right.
to a trans person, this is a major issue, because they probably just want to be seen as who they are,
Yeah.
um, or versus how the world may see them as somebody trying to pretend to be somebody else. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense.
No,
So
it does make sense. And, like, I think I've said this before. I may have even said this on the podcast before. I don't recall, though. I think a lot of the struggle that the trans community has right now is primarily a marketing issue. Like, for the record, I'm treading carefully here, because I'm not saying something that I disagree with, simply something that I think was the wrong direction to go. The the phrase that is commonly used, that trans women are women, is indefensible to a bigoted person that wants to hate trans people. You will never get them to agree to that statement, because they will always say, no, that person has a penis, that is not a woman. I kind of harken back to a phrase that I heard in like the 90s, and that was, we're here, we're queer, get used to it. And it was less about, see me as something unique, and simply just get over it, and I do exist. And I almost think that the trans fight would have gone better if that is the route that they had taken, versus the, again, I agree trans women are women, but from trying to argue against somebody who is going to never agree with you in the first place, it's a really hard position to defend.
that's true. And what's interesting to me is that it seems like trans women typically get the most of this. I don't know, from what I see. they seem to get the
Yeah.
most discrimination, and I don't see the same amount of discrimination for trans men for some reason. I don't know why that is, but it's just
Patriarchy. I think
Yes,
there's this
you got to think
mentality
about that.
among
If you're a trans man, you're not looked at as a trans woman. You're going after, or you're attracted to men. And men are attracted to you because men look at you as a woman. And if you are not disclosing that, now a man's ego and pride is now hurt or
I,
disrespected.
I agree with the pride part of it, but I think I think it's even a little bit more basic than that, and it's more along the lines of society views men as better than women. And a trans woman is a man that decided not to be the better option. Whereas a trans man is a woman that decided to be better by being a man.
Being a man.
Like, I think that is where a lot of the, and don't get me wrong, yes, there's people that are worried that they're going to, sleep with somebody that has a penis that looks like a woman. But
Right.
like, I think it's more basic than that. It's just that you don't want to be a man. Why? How could you not want to be a man? Being a man is amazing. That's how people tend to view it, I think.
that makes sense. That makes sense. Well, keeping on this kind of this same topic of the trans experience. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with T.S. Madison. I follow her
Vaguely.
vaguely.
I mean, I know of T.S. Madison. I don't follow T.S. Madison.
Oh. Well, okay. Well, okay. I have no words. Anyway, but she was recently on the Nene Leakes show, and they got into a discussion about.
Nene Leakes has a show?
Yes.
You didn't know that? Yeah, she
Podcast.
Like, separate of,
Atlanta
like, Real
Housewives.
Housewives.
Yeah, she's not on the Housewives anymore, and she has a podcast, the Nene Leakes show. And
Okay.
and so yeah, she's doing her thing, and she had Maddie on there. And I watched the interview this week, and so they got into a discussion about something that I would call it the Great Debate. So we'll take a listen.
Okay, well, when you guys be saying that, that's weird. Why? Because what do you mean you don't date gay men? Because
Let me start it over.
Well, I don't date gay men. What? Okay, well, when you guys be saying that, that's weird. Why? Because what do you mean you don't date gay men? Because if he is sleeping with you and sleeping with a woman, he's something.
Well, he's not gay.
What is he?
He's definitely not gay.
He's bi?
Listen, because if a man come in here and he looks at me and you,
Yeah. What is he?
well, he likes women.
Yeah, because he doesn't know.
And if he does know, he likes women.
Okay.
Now-
So, but what is he?
Well, that will possibly, it's a possibility.
He's bisexual?
He could be bi or he could be pan.
Okay, guys.
You know, a lot of men are
Yeah.
a lot of men are pan, but they don't say anything. Like
I don't want to run into them. I don't want to date him.
Nene, if you've dated,
I need you to like.
Nene, if you've
Hello,
dated,
Kitty, all the
if you've dated men,
Yes.
if you've dated men, there's a possibility in your life that
He's been with a man.
he's been with something.
What do you mean he's been with something?
He's been outside. I mean, here's the thing. I know that women consider trans women men because we were born male, but there's a difference between being man and male.
I get it. But you have your part.
That's correct.
So he can love you and think you're so beautiful, and I
Well,
want to sleep with you.
there are men who deal with me that won't touch my parts. Anytime you see
But does he know it's there?
yeah, he knows it's there. I'm not hiding it.
Oh, you're not?
No.
I mean, that wouldn't make any sense.
Well, I've had gentlemen to tell me, "Hey, put a pillow over that," and I'm like, "Well, you're not the nigga for me. You don't have to touch it and deal with it, but I'm not hiding shit from you."
So, okay, wait a minute. We got to go back and figure this out.
Yeah,
So the
now
man...
we talking.
Yeah, so the man going to be sleeping with me and you? I don't want to talk to him no more.
You know?
Why the hell you going to sleep with me then going to sleep
Well,
with
he
you
got
for?
men like variety.
Oh, please. I don't want him.
Well, shit. I mean, hey, but it's happening.
I'm over it.
But these things, this is what women.
That's why I'm not even dating.
Well, I don't.
What do you guys think?
Girl. Both of them are a mess, is what I think.
Oh. Okay, well, go ahead, Brian. Kick us off.
No, I don't necessarily have any opinion about that. Like, I suppose I get both sides of it. Like, the point that TS was making about if the possibility that you've already been with a man that has been with a trans woman is it exists. That's a thing. It's entirely possible that that has happened, and you just kind of have to come to terms with that. Like, and the fact that Nini was so very much against that. Like, I get it. That was just messy for the sake of being messy, in my opinion.
Okay,
But Mama Kim, that's a perspective of an actual heterosexual woman. That
Yeah.
So everybody have a past, right? And I think that's how I think about things. If we are in a relationship in the moment, I don't care. I can't judge you on your past. Now, if we're in the relationship as right now, and you come to me and say, "Hey, I slept with a trans woman, I slept with a guy, we can't be together no more. I do not want to. I do not want to deal with that. Don't hide it. Give me the option to be out. Don't do it and then come and then tell me you did it. Leave me alone. If you feel like that's who you are,
I'm sorry
I
to interrupt. Just
don't.
just for clarity, are you talking about whether it has happened in the past or if it happened during? You feel the same way regardless.
I feel the same way.
If it
Okay.
happened in
No,
the
no, no,
past,
no, no, no. The past is your past because I don't care about that.
Okay. Okay.
But if we're in the moment, if we're together and you say, "Oh, I slept with a guy," or "I slept with a trans woman," I don't want to be with you. Leave me alone.
I guess in my mind, what if y'all together? Him telling you that would be no different than him saying he got another woman on the
He
side.
slept with
You know what
another
I'm
woman,
saying?
right?
I
Yeah.
don't want
So
to be
is it
with you
the
either or. If you cheat, I'm gonna put it as
the
this: if
cheating?
you're cheating on
So
me,
blanket cheating is what you're.
blanket cheating, I don't
Okay,
want
got
to
it.
be with you. If you've been with a man in the past and you say, "Hey, that's not who I am now," I don't know if I would believe it. I don't know, right? Because one thing you said, Brian, that sticks in my mind: you are who you are. You've been this way since you can remember. If a man says, "I'm not gay, I like to sleep with men sometimes, and I like to sleep with women sometimes," you just not for me. It's just bottom line.
I guess that's fair. I think that and I think what I was gathering from the that part of the interview was like, men that are trans attracted, have to identify. It's like forcing them to identify as something. And I think from what I got, what Maddie was saying was like they they are dating in the same pool. Her and Nene would be dating in the
Yes.
same pool.
Yeah.
And so when a man comes in that room, like if a man was to enter that room where they were, he would see two women. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
He wouldn't even have the knowledge to know that one of them is a transsexual or trans
Mhm.
woman, and the other was is a natural born woman. He would just see two women sitting there, um, and I guess Nini's couldn't wrap her mind around the fact that basically, and the way this is what I gather from it, is like a man like you shouldn't like me, but what she was saying is, listen, if he don't, we're in the dating in the same. We're
He
pulling.
using his eyes. He's not using if y'all both was naked and he saw that, that's different. But if he came into a room, TS and Nene, It's two women. He don't see a penis. He don't see a pussy. He only see two women with titties in their clothes. Now, if he came in and y'all was naked and he said, "I'm taking the man with the titty and the dick," now you might have something to say. And but clothed, she looks like a man. I mean, a woman. Both of them look like women.
But then why are trans attracted men put into a box where they have to, or where they're forced to identify as something? If that makes, you know what I'm saying? Because she was, he's gay, he's bi,
he's pan, whatever.
Yeah, why can't he just not be a straight male?
Because that's what, and to be honest, that's how society makes you choose. Is in your mind, right? You as a straight person do not feel like you are attracted to a woman with a penis. You're attracted to a woman. That's why she said, I've been with men that tell me to cover up my penis because they don't want to see the penis. They see the titties, they see the ass, and they might call the ass pussy. But as long as the dingling is hid or covered up, that it won't equate to them as the same thing as
she's naked. She's naked. So you're not, and realistically, you're not fucking a pussy. You see what I'm saying? So you're going into this knowing there ain't no pussy around. You hitting it in the ass, but it ain't because you got. This is because you have to, because you ain't got no other option. Do you know what I'm saying? Right. So whether she puts a pillow over it or not, it's there, and so you knew what you was getting into when you got there, and
you ain't leave.
But my point is, I don't think that makes them gay. I don't, because they're trans women are women, and do you know what I'm saying? I guess I don't know if that makes sense, but I don't think that makes them gay. Now, is she? I'm not gonna even say that. I won't even say. I'll say now she's, but now that don't. In today's world, that don't even that doesn't even make it make you gay. So I don't know.
I heard somebody say the other day that like men that are attracted to trans people are part of a new age of DL, where I think traditional DL kind of has become less of a thing. It still exists, but I think there's less pressure for it. But I think trans attraction is definitely a new category for the DL crowd, because this very conversation shows that some people have very strong feelings about what you've done in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only we only care about what you've done in the past when it involves you dealing with men, because if you think about it,
absolutely, yeah,
the contradiction is like women can have a past, can have a present. You know what I'm saying? Past and a present in dealing with other women, and it's no problem with that. But
because men don't see it as nasty, they see it as a fantasy. If you talk to most straight men, they would love to see two women kissing, two women having sex. That is their thing. They're not gonna be like, "Oh, that's nasty. I ain't gonna be with you because you slept with another woman." They would enjoy that.
Well, I guess not even just from a male perspective. I think just in general, it seems to be more accepted. You know what I'm saying? It's not a woman can have can be in a relationship with a woman for 10 years or so. It doesn't work out. She moves on, marries a man, and there's no thought given to it.
Nobody cares
if
about
a man say he was with another man and they was in a relationship for 10 years and then met a woman and decided to.
Not even a duration relationship. Sometimes it's like a one-night stand, and it will, his entire life.
Yeah. So it's I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of layers to this, and I don't know, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. I just hate that it is. I guess just in general. Even we talking about the trans being put into boxes, and then a trans attracted man have to put into boxes, and then also I think just in the LGBT community period, seems to be some way, shape, or form that we all have to identify as something or be put in some kind of box in order to exist. Whereas in the heterosexual community, it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. So
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. So all right, we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. But before we go, I want to show you guys something, and I want you to know, what would you do in this situation? What would you do in this situation?
Excuse me, miss. Could you help me put this in my car? Let me get the trunk here. It's just right in here. Shut the fuck up! Oh, she ran off.
Oh my God. People play too fucking much. I ran just like she did.
Of all the really stupid pranks that they do online, that was probably one of the more amusing ones.
Yes.
And I think there's a component of the fact that it's clearly a prank, whereas a lot of them are, create potentially serious or dangerous situations. But yeah, this one was relatively funny.
I thought it was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
I thought it was hilarious. I can see how somebody, if somebody would take it serious and then
Call the police.
Yeah. I can see how that would happen. However, but to me, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious. But
I would have ran away too. You on your own, buddy. Sorry.
She just disappeared. That was pretty
good. She ran track. She said, "I'm out of here."
Right.
I don't know. I probably would have done the same thing. I would have been out of there. Listen, I don't want to be the witness.
Sorry.
I'm witness to nothing. But all right, guys. Well, thank you guys for joining me today. Before I go, DJ Evox and Flossie and Mad Max, they're doing it again. So they have their hip hop white party coming up on Labor Day weekend. So for all those who may be in the Indianapolis area, Labor Day weekend, please join them in their party. I heard the first one was a huge success. So it's good to see they running it back.
For sure. Yep, absolutely.
So good. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now you can get you some red, whatever you said you was gonna do.
Boy, bye. You go up and pick up them overgrown weeds. Sorry.
Ain't that it? Whatever. Bye.